Welcome back. I have questions emailed to me all the time. Just random questions like, Dave, why do you look so dumb? And Dave, your mom is so ashamed of you. You know, that sort of thing. And occasionally I'll get a gardening question too. Today I have a gardening question from Amanda, who writes, I'm visiting my family in Pennsylvania and my mom says, ask David the Good why my persimmons are dropping. So here I am. These aren't tomatoes, but green persimmons. There's not a single one left on the tree and perhaps 15 to 20 on the ground. Some are rotting. Some are perfect like these, except unripe. She says they did the same thing last year. It's a beautiful, healthy looking tree, so we thought you might have an answer. So let's see if we can figure out why these persimmons are dropping. There are multiple reasons why persimmons might drop off the tree. Number one, yeah, I cut myself. I have bad luck, particularly with this finger. One, is this a young persimmon tree? When fruit trees are young, this doesn't just apply to persimmons, but many fruit trees. When they're young, sometimes they don't have the establishment, they don't have the growth, they don't have the root development to support a good crop of fruit. So the tree may just decide to chuck the fruit. You'll see this often, citrus do this all the time. You get a bunch of little citrus. When I was a kid, we had a grapefruit tree in the backyard, and all these little green grapefruits would fall on the ground every year before the tree decided the amount of fruit it was actually going to hold all the way through. And it always held quite a few fruit, but it got rid of a bunch of little ones. So my brother and I used to take sticks and hit them way across multiple yards until this one day, this guy that was like 4 houses down started really yelling at us because apparently they were having like a little picnic in the backyard or something. They were getting pelted with unripe tiny grapefruit. So don't do that with your persimmons. But if it's a young tree, that might be one reason why your persimmon is dropping fruit. Reason number 2, parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy basically just means virgin fruit. They're unfertilized fruit. And the purpose of a fruit, it's designed to be delicious and to be eaten. And then the seeds get carried on and the next generation is formed. Some trees will make fruit without seeds in them, but sometimes they don't want to hold on to those fruit. They say, why am I doing all this work for something that isn't going to help me reproduce? So the fruit drops. In some cases, even varieties like fuyu, which is often seedless, I have heard will benefit from having a pollinator nearby. Now, if you do have a pollinator near your fuyu, they will no longer be seedless persimmons. So it may be a case of, you know, if you're really not getting any fruit going, well, plant a pollinator. But if you like those seedless fruit, you probably don't want a pollinator nearby. If all of them are dropping though, you may have a variety that definitely needs another pollinator. So keep that in mind. Parthenocarpy. Remember that for Scrabble. 3, too much or too little. If you've got too much water, if you've got too little water, if you've got too much nitrogen, too little nitrogen. If there's too much or too little and you're not in that fruit creation sweet spot, the fruit tree may just say, I'm done, I'm kicking the fruit off. This is not a good year for this. I have a friend up in Florida who runs a nursery. He had multiple citrus trees growing along the edge of where he put down that plastic weed barrier and put trees on top of it, and he had drainage that was running towards those fruit trees. And you would think that that would be good, like you would get more water to the trees and it would be good, but citrus don't like a ton of water. And if you know anything about Florida in the summer, it often gets a lot of water. So those trees started to yellow, they started to drop fruit, they had all kinds of problems until he dug some drainage around them and made some changes, and then they were okay. Another thing is, if you decide to fertilize your fruit trees and you throw extra nitrogen on them, sometimes they'll just say, forget it, I'm not making fruit this year, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of leaves, and they may drop the fruit that they have and go into another flush of growth. So that's something you want to consider. Are you getting too much or too little of something? Tree's not a young tree. The tree is getting everything it needs, it's in the sweet spot, it's not been an irregular year. You know, the tree has got pollination, and it's still dropping fruit one year. Well, if it's borne fruit before and done well, and then this year it's just not doing all that hot, it may just be an alternate bearing tree. Sometimes trees work really hard one year and they give you a whole ton of fruit, and the next year they say, man, That was just too much. I'm not gonna make fruit like that again this year. Alternate bearing is common with quite a few species. So if you've got a tree that's just like, your persimmon's just not doing it this year, don't worry about it. Wait for next year and see what happens. The tree may just need a break. Finally, I have over 1,400 posts on my blog now, thesurvivalgardener.com. If you have gardening questions, you can go over there and email me, or you can just watch me here on the YouTube and leave comments. I appreciate all you guys. Until next time, may your thumbs always be green.
I went to see David the Good. We listened to Portishead and drank spiced rum.
It's in the crib, ma. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it.